Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Monday 2 o'clock Facebook Live. Instead of doing Bean of the Week, I'm going to be making some grilled vegetables. I'll be monitoring the comments, both here and on my laptop over here. If you're wondering what I'm doing, trying to get over here. So, you can ask me questions if you want, and I'll try to answer as best I can while I'm cooking. I see some people are already coming on. We had some issues on Saturday with my recording, so that was not very helpful. I'm trying to get this glare out of here. What happened was I always set the Zoom class to record automatically, and then I turn it off, and then I turn it back on again. But I guess I had set it to not record, so I turned it on record and then turned it off record. So anyway, it was just it was crazy. Okay, hi from Canada. Oh, she loves my top. Thank you. Mary sent 50 stars. Thank you, Mary. So anyway, what I'm going to do in the future, so I don't do that again, is I'm going to just keep it on record the whole time instead of playing with it. I'm going to do something over here, sorry. So I'm going to keep it on record. I don't know why I'm not showing up in my other feed over here. Just give me a second. Oh, here we go. What happened was that way I can, sometimes I can't read the comments on the phone, and I can see them over here off to the side, and that's a little bit easier for me to manage, so I kind of go back and forth. But in the future, I'm just going to keep it on record. Hello, Lorena, Paula, Les Swanson. He wants to know how to grill those vegetables, I bet. He was going to buy the recording that doesn't exist. And I'm not doing that class over, not this year anyway. I may do it next year. So, but in the future, I'm going to keep it on record from the very beginning. And then you might have to see me messing around getting started, but you can always fast forward through that part, so that way I won't mess it up again. I see Carrie is watching. So I'm going to be doing some grilled vegetables. I have a whole tray of vegetables. Fortunately, since I just had the class, hello from Arizona, from Tammy. Oh, Tammy Whitehorn. Tammy, I'm still waiting for your report on how you did in the 12-week program. So anyway, I have a lot of vegetables left from my class, and then I have some others I didn't grill in the class, but I just wanted to show you the variety of vegetables that you can grill. I have from my garden, which is producing like crazy, I have yellow squash, that's kind of the crookneck squash. I have some zucchini I picked yesterday. I've got onions. I have some portobello mushrooms. I also had some little cremini mushrooms I could have used. I have what's left of my butternut squash that I peeled. I have a Japanese eggplant. I have a red potato, which I've got sliced up, some jalapenos, and bell pepper. So I'm showing you all these things because the sky's the limit. Carol Cunningham says, I appreciate all your work to make the classes possible. Well, thank you. That is a lot of work. All you see is me on there for my couple of hours, and I'm calmly telling you how I cook all this stuff. But to get to that point, first of all, I do a lot of recipe testing, and I make the food over and over a couple times. And then once I'm satisfied that I've made it my way and that it's good, Terry Melnar says, hello, Chef Julia, thank you for doing this class. No worries about the Zoom one. Things happen. You work so hard. Well, thank you. I'm recovered. I was kind of bummed out Saturday. I didn't sleep well that night. My mind was just kind of racing, and I was laying there awake going, how did I do that? Oh, I feel so bad for all these people that were planning to watch later. And then I got up on Sunday, and my friends were coming over. We were supposed to have a garden tour that got canceled, and my friends were coming over, and they're my walking friends. I see them every day pretty much. And so I thought, my friends are coming over. I'm going to relax, have a glass of wine, and just have an enjoyable evening. And I did. I had such a good time. My good friend Julia Buttermore brought me some of my favorite vegan sushi and some edamame and miso soup, and then I ate some delicious food, and I had made my pumpkin bread and zucchini bread, which turned out awesome, and they liked it. This whole group of non-plant-based people, because none of them are really plant-based 100%, and they were eating my oil-free pumpkin bread and telling me how good it was. That was great. I love that. So they were happy with it. And so, you know, if people that don't eat oil-free, dairy-free, egg-free stuff like your food, it has to be pretty good. So I see a lot of comments are popping up, and I can read them. I have gotten the email list of people who responded that they wanted to have a free class in the future this year. And also the other possibility that I wanted to mention is if you wanted to have a free class of anything I've done in the past instead of a future class, if you missed the recording and you were registered for the grilling class, let me know, because I can also send you the recording and recipe packet for any class I've done this year. And the list of classes, I don't think it's on my website anymore. I'll just have to post the list of all my classes on. I'll post it on here after this is over. It's, you know, there's a bunch of them. They're Japanese and Korean and whatever, travel. There's a bunch of them that I've done this year. I've done 2 every month. So I see Terry Lostetter, Paula Harvey, a bunch of people who signed up for the grilling class. So let's get to grilling. So this is exactly how I taught it in the class, kind of. I'm not wearing my chef coat. I'm wearing my normal clothes, but something that never changes. This always cheers me up, so hopefully it'll cheer you up. My sweet boxers. Mochi, look up. Taro. They're exhausted because we went for a walk this morning. Before it was raining. Right now it's pouring down rain out here, so you can't really tell, but maybe if you look out there you can see it's just been pouring. The squirrels and the birds have been going after all the food out there. So I've been watching out the window, and every now and then I'll see a great big squirrel coming by. But there's kind of a glare from my lamp. I think it's because of the dreariness outside, so I'll try to move this. But anyway, Mochi and Taro are here as usual. And they went for their walk. I can only walk them about 30 minutes because they're getting older. Hi, Jan Lowry. Jan, I bet it's wet up at your place. She lives about 20 minutes from me, so she's probably got some pretty bad weather there. I forgot my knife. I gotta run and get my knife real quick. I have it. It's in the other kitchen. I have 2 kitchens, you know. This is my classroom kitchen, and then I have the house kitchen. So let's see, Tracy says, I appreciate you doing this. I'm hoping to get tips on what I can grill when we go camping. Okay, I'll try to cover that. So yeah, you know, I'm kind of thinking about starting up some in-person classes again in the next couple months, maybe by the end of the year, I don't know. But I'll keep doing the Zoom classes too. I just think, you know, it's so much fun to do in-person stuff because you be here in my classroom. I have what I have here is I have a counter with bar stools. You can kind of look around, and there's a big table behind me. And so what I do is I stand here at the stove, and then people are sitting around the counter, and I have an extension for my counter that seats up to about 13 people. And then the other thing I'm thinking about doing is I will have people split up because I have 2 kitchens, so I can assign people to make dishes, and some can be in here and some can be in the other kitchen. Hi, Mary Boudreau. Hi, Suzanne, Kelly. I recognize so many of your names from signing up for that class. I'm not gonna feel bad anymore because what I'm doing is I'm doing a free Facebook Live video on how to grill the vegetables. Patty Ball says an idea for a future class might be camping meals. Huh, all right. Thank you for this class, says Victoria. I'll have to think about that. I'm not much of a camper. My friend Jackie Barnes is the camping expert. So, but what I'm doing to make up for the class, I'm doing the grilling today. I'm going to make the veggie burger on YouTube, but not this week. I'm probably going to wait until next week to do that. So I'm not going to do it this quickly just because I just need to wait probably until next week. We'll see, maybe I'll change my mind and do it. And so I'm going to do that. And anything else, if you registered for the class, you have the recipes. If you didn't register for the class and you want the recipes, you can still purchase the recipe packet just as if you're registering for the class, but you won't get any kind of recording. Instead, you can go to the Facebook Live video today, the YouTube video that I'm going to be making. So I'm going to eventually post all the recipes either on YouTube or Facebook. So they'll be out there, and then you get the recipe packet, which entailed a lot of hours of work. So I think it's worth whatever it is, because I worked a long time to figure out how to grill vegetables that turn out well. For one thing, when I started eating oil-free, I tried to grill vegetables, and I have right outside my door here, I have a gas grill, a great big, beautiful gas grill. Mary Nolan says, I have yet to try a veggie burger, so I'm going to try your recipe. Okay. But my gas grill is right outside here. It's one of those great big fancy ones with 3 burners, and I used to use it for years. I still use it. My kids come over and they grill stuff. But I tried grilling vegetables on the gas grill. So what I would do is I would, put a little seasoning on the vegetables, throw them on the grill, and they would turn into dust practically. They would just be kind of charred and dry and flavorless, and they didn't taste good. They were awful. And then I know a lot of people will tell you, oh, well, you could roast vegetables, just throw them all in the oven and roast them. And then they are all these kind of charred, terrible tasting, bitter vegetables, which I don't really like. So I kind of figured out how to roast vegetables in the oven that taste good. But for grilling, it's a little bit different when you're grilling stuff, because, let's see, what kind of outdoor grill do you recommend? I am going to get to that in just a minute. Alice Beatty gave 99 stars. Stars are enabled, so if you want to buy stars, Facebook does send them to me. They're 99 cents. Or no, they're not 99 cents. They're a penny a star. So if you send 99 stars, that's like 99 pennies. Okay, so anyway, grilling vegetables on the grill is very tricky because, first of all, think about this. Grilling is a dry heat method, okay? So dry heat meaning here is the heat source, and this is my indoor grill that I have right here. This is a Presto electric grill. It's on my Amazon store, and they're like $35. I think they're not very expensive. So you can use an electric grill, but a grill is dry heat, meaning there's nothing on the grill. It's dry. It's not like moist heat is when you boil something in water. That's moist heat. Or steam it. Steamer basket. This is a moist heat method. But a grill is dry heat. So grills rely upon usually oil, right? So when you're grilling stuff on the grill, normally it has fat, like meat. And if the meat doesn't have fat on it, usually you brush the grill with oil or brush the meat with oil, or you somehow use some form of fat, and then that kind of, works along with the dry heat to produce really good tasting food. But with vegetables and dry heat, if you put the vegetables on the dry heat, all you're going to get is dry, tasteless vegetables. They're not going to be very good unless you steam them on the grill, but then that's not grilling, okay? And we could talk about if you're using an outside grill. I'll show you. Let's say that you wanted to cook your vegetables on the grill and have them come out well. One option is you can use a flat cast iron pan on your outdoor grill. This could also work on your stovetop if you have a big heavy stove. This is a 14-inch cast iron, kind of a pizza thing made by Lodge. But then what I found is I put the vegetables on here, and after they started to, as soon as I put them on there, I covered them, and there's liquid on the vegetables and they kind of steam. Well, that's good. That's that's like the campfire foil packet idea. Because everything is wrapped up in foil, so it steams it, but that's not grilling. Grilling is when you put something on a grill pan or grill, you know, the outdoor grill is just a grill with grates, or an indoor grill. So that's what I'm going to cover today, is how to grill using dry heat. And the first thing we have to do is we choose our vegetables. So if you choose vegetables, they all have to be cut about the same thickness. So for example, my portobello mushroom is about this thick. My yellow squash is about that thick. It's maybe half an inch, okay? Trisha Gutierrez says, we have a griddle type of barbecue. Will this work okay? A griddle type, by griddle type, I think what she means is a flat top. That's usually what a griddle is called. Yes, that works okay. You're not going to get grill marks. So if you can get a grill pan and it has grill marks, that's what people are usually referring to when they're talking about something grilled. It's something that has grill marks. If it's a flat top type of a thing, you're kind of sauteing it on a flat top surface, and it's not going to have any kind of grill marks on it. So that's the distinction, but it'll still taste good. So remember everything, and we'll cut everything here in a minute. We're going to make the marinade first. Everything will have to be cut in even pieces. So even if it was, here's my butternut squash, even that is about a half an inch, a little bit between 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 an inch. So you know, that's important, because if you cut things too thin and try to grill them, what happens is once they're on the grill, they just kind of break apart, because the heat from the grill will just kind of disintegrate the vegetable, and that's when you get those real crispy vegetables. Okay, let's see. The Kendra sent 50 stars, thank you, or 99 stars. Sorry, I couldn't see it. That's why I have to look on my computer. It's really hard to read from this angle because I'm kind of far back, but on my computer over here, I can see the comments a lot easier. So that's why that's the method to my madness here. Okay, so first of all, we're going to make the marinade. I'm going to set my vegetables over here. And I've kind of got my grill preheating a little bit just because I want it to be nice and warm when I get ready to start, but you don't have to do that. I like to not have to waste a lot of time waiting for things to heat up. So my marinade. Okay, remember it's a dry heat method, so we have to have a marinade. I'm going to put this back here because it's taking up too much room. So in our marinade, we're going to have garlic, 1 garlic clove, 1 or 2 if they're small, but I'm just going to use 1. And in order to use your garlic, remember you just cut off the hard end, smash it, and then the peel comes right off, usually. It's raining again here. It's been raining for a week or more. It seems like every day it's just raining. It never stops. Of course, the vegetables in a vegetable garden are doing really well. I'm just mincing up the garlic. My vegetables are doing great. I'm gonna have 1 million zucchinis by tomorrow, so I guess I'll have to make my zucchini bread on YouTube. That's what I was planning to make on Wednesday, was zucchini bread. Mary says we need rain. Where are you at, Mary? Tracy loves garlic. Okay, so that's the garlic. It's just chopped up. I'm going to put it in I've got a little bowl here. And then I need some different spices. So you can use any spice you like. I'm just going to use the ones I like today. I need my 1/2 teaspoon measuring spoon. Here it is. So I'm going to use some ground cumin, 1/2 teaspoon. And then I'm going to use some Mexican oregano. It's supposed to be a little bit more floral than regular oregano. Let me move you over here. I think it tastes about the same. Truthfully, it smells about the same too. And I have oregano in my garden. If you use fresh herbs, just use a little bit more. And then we'll put in some red chili powder. This is just common everyday grocery store red chili powder. It's not any special chili powder from New Mexico or anything. And then we're going to put in a tablespoon of tahini. And the tahini is really good because the tahini is it gives it a little bit of that fat, even though it's not oil. You know, tahini is just sesame seeds. And the tahini I like to use is this Mighty Sesame Tahini. It's on my Amazon store because it's very liquefied. It's just this brand of tahini makes it easy to make good marinades. And then we're gonna put in some low sodium soy sauce, or you could use tamari, a teaspoon. I'm just gonna use some low sodium soy sauce today. Tamari is a little bit stronger than soy sauce, has a little bit more sodium in it, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with using tamari. It's just whatever you like. And then I'm going to use a couple of tablespoons of low sodium vegetable broth. You can use store-bought or make your own. 2 tablespoons. If you hear some snoring in the background, that's what it is, snoring. It's Mochi back here. He's snoring away, and he's loud. That really, I haven't taken the dogs for a walk in a long time because Mochi developed spondylosis. Let's see, Rose sent 50 stars, thank you, Rose. Mary's in Southwest Florida. Terry Lowstetter says she wished it would rain in California, 93 degrees today, wow. Well, we have got so much rain, our pool is about to overflow. I could see the level of it going up. Okay, so now I'm going to use some lime juice, 2 tablespoons of lime juice. I'm just going to use this whole lime because my lime moved around on me. That's about 1. We'll use another one. So we get our lime juice, and that's pretty much it. We just have the acid from the limes, a little umami from the soy sauce, a little bit of the tahini, then the fresh garlic, and if we wanted to, we could choose any other spice in our spice rack. So I know you guys probably have seen my spices before. They're kind of over here. I have this huge spice rack right here because I cook and from all my classes here, and I have every kind of spice blend and spices and whatever. So I could pick anything. I could just, you know, say, well, I'm in the mood for garlic pepper, or I'm in the mood for whatever. Jacqueline Lopresti, I recognize your name. I recognize so many of your names. I saw Les Swanson. So yeah, you could put balsamic vinegar in here. You could put mustard, lots of different things. I kind of don't like really acidic things like mustard and vinegar in my marinade. And I know that I've seen a lot of people who will tell you, oh, I love to, you know, roast my vegetables with balsamic vinegar. And I've tried that, and to me that tastes horrible. I guess something's wrong with me because I don't like it. It's not my thing. Marinating vegetables in balsamic vinegar to me tastes like acidic marinated vegetables with vinegar. Not my kind of flavor profile. Okay, so we're gonna pick some vegetables to marinate. I have a little 13 by 9 dish. Tracy's sending hearts. Thank you, Tracy, I appreciate it. And so we're gonna decide what's gonna go into our marinade. And that, like I said, that could be anything. So let's start with, we'll put some portobello mushrooms in here. I have 3. No, I have 4. These are left from my class. Mary said I got some spices from Burlap and Barrel. They are wonderful. Okay. Christine Pomeroy says I don't like balsamic for roasted vegetables either. See, it's not just me. All right, let's put some simple thing like a slice of onion in here. Remember, 1/2 inch. We don't want it to be a little dinky, thin slice of onion, all right? I'm guessing that's about 1/2 inch. It's okay if it separates. And then we've got our nice zucchini. Remember, I told you I picked some zucchini from the garden. I cut everything in a slab. So to cut it in a slab, I cut part of it off to make it lie flat. Because remember what I always tell you, and I cut the end off because it's ugly. What I always tell you is don't cut rolling objects because you'll cut your fingers. So make it lie flat. And then again, this one we want to have it into like 1/2 inch pieces. Remember, the reason for that is if they're not thicker slabs, they will get into the high heat of the grill or any of the heat of the grill, and they will disintegrate. With a jalapeno, I cut them in half because it just cooks faster. So we'll just do a half. With bell peppers, and if you have any questions at any time, I can read your questions. You know, I'm watching for them, so feel free to ask a question. So I'm cutting the slabs of bell pepper off the sides of the bell pepper. And I'm not making a lot of vegetables because I only have my small grill in here, and quite frankly, I have a lot of vegetables from my class on Saturday that I haven't used up, so I need to use them. And I'm putting them in my baking dish while I'm cutting them. Then I have a piece of yellow squash I already have cut up. Let's see, how about that Japanese eggplant? So with that, same thing, I'm going to cut it in a slab, about a ½ inch. I'll cut it down this way because it's not safe to try to balance it out. So I'm kind of cutting it in strips, which is fine. It will look good. So I've got these nice strips of Japanese eggplant. I might eat those for lunch. They would taste really good marinated in soy sauce and ginger. So you can use any kind of seasoning you like. And I'm not going to grill the broccoli, but we could. So now I want to talk to you about grilling potatoes and winter squash. And I have some different options that you can use. First of all, I know that when I teach you how to air fry potatoes, I always tell you that you have to blanch them in water first. And the reason for that is, hi Amy Jo Moore, the reason for blanching them in water first is because cooking them in the air fryer is a dry heat method. So if you try to put dried potatoes that are raw in the air fryer and you don't blanch them in water, which is a wet method, the potatoes just kind of don't ever cook right. They're just kind of too hard. They're hard on the outside and they never get that nice soft fluffy inside. So in order to counteract that, we have to take hard, long cooking vegetables and we have to do something with them before we grill them, or it doesn't work very well. So what I've done is I've used a couple of methods. One is the microwave. So I made slices of potatoes and squash and put them in the microwave for 3 minutes. The issue with the microwave is the microwave will kind of make them look ugly. It's not a great method, but it's better than putting them on there raw. So if you don't have time for anything, if you slice your vegetables and microwave them for 3 minutes, that does cook them enough that they'll cook on the grill. So that is an option. Another option is to cook them in boiling water. So I took my pot of boiling water, I dropped in several slices of red potato and slices of butternut squash, and I boiled them for 5 minutes in my little pot of water. That works really good. So what happened is my potatoes cooked some, but not all the way, but they cooked enough that they'll cook the rest of the way on the grill. So I'm going to put them in here with my vegetables along with my squash, butternut squash. And the reason you don't want to cut it too thin is this one I cut a little too thin and it started to split, but I'm still going to use it. You can steam the vegetables too. So I have this nice little Pampered Chef micro cooker. It's a steamer. And if you put the same slices of vegetables in here, so that would be like, let's say I wanted to cook these potatoes and some acorn squash to do this. So I put them in here with a couple of tablespoons of water, close it up and cook it in the microwave for 3 minutes, only 3 minutes, not 5, but 3 minutes. Then I could have steamed vegetables that I could grill. This works really good. So your best options are blanching, which is quick, just put it in some water, 5 minutes. Pretty much any kind of hard vegetable that takes a long time to cook, sweet potatoes, white potatoes, winter squash, probably carrots, because carrots can take a while, but carrots may not need 5 minutes, so you might have to experiment with carrots, but I usually don't grill carrots. See, a bunch of people are coming on. Paula says, can you steam the potatoes? Yeah, steam them, but remember, don't steam them too long because then they'll disintegrate. So while I continue to answer your questions, I'm going to pour the marinade. Let me let you see that. So then you put your vegetables in your dish and then you pour the marinade on top of them. Now I know you could use a Ziploc bag or something, but you know, people sometimes get irritated when they see me using plastic, so they think it's not being good to the environment. So I'm trying to get away from using so much plastic. So I'm using my glass dish that's reusable. I'm using my hands, they're very clean. And I'm making sure that this marinade is on all the surfaces of my vegetables. Okay, so if you make a lot more vegetables than this, you may need to make more marinade, because this will soak up all the marinade. And in my recipe packet with the class, it says about the amount: onion, potato, jalapeno peppers, portobello mushrooms, just about anything. Anything that you want, you can put on the grill. You can find, you know, different vegetables that I might not have even mentioned. We could put cherry tomatoes or whatever. I'm trying to think of some other vegetables that might be in your garden. Okra. Okra is delicious grilled. You wouldn't think that, but there's something about okra when you put it on the grill, the inside is not slimy. So I'm growing okra this year, but one year I had a lot of okra that I didn't know what I was going to do with, and then somebody suggested grilling it, and I thought, how could that be good? And I grilled it and it was great. So anyway, I've got my vegetables and I want you to see how they look, all coated with this delicious marinade. Even the potatoes, and I think sweet potatoes would be great. Purple potatoes, any kind of potato would be good on this. Oh, asparagus, yes. Kohlrabi, asparagus. Yeah, I made asparagus the other day. I have to wash my hands off. Okay, so basically, remember, the secrets to the grilling, and I'm going to turn my grill up to about 375. So I've got my electric grill over here. It's not a griddle, it's a grill. It's got grill lines on it, so it's going to leave grill marks. And I could be using this rock grill on my stove, on my gas grill, or on my my gas stove or my electric stove if I wanted to. I used it during my class and it worked really well. The rock grill pan worked wonderful, and my daughter got this for me. I believe it was for Christmas. They sold them at Costco, and it's non-stick. So one of the things to keep in mind, and I'll keep talking while I'm putting these on the grill. I'll get this closer so you can see what I'm doing better. All right, let's see if there's any other questions. No, people are just watching. So I'm going to just lay these on my grill pan. See, hear it sizzle? So when you put stuff on your grill, you want it to be hot. You don't want it to burn, but you want to hear some sound. Otherwise, it's not going to develop your nice grill marks. So I'm putting my eggplant, and any marinade that's at the bottom of my dish, I'm just making sure it's nice and marinated. My nice yellow squash. And I love to do this outside on my gas grill, because when it's hot here, you know, we have hot summers. People come over, we have a pool. Here's an acorn squash or butternut squash. Here's one of my potatoes. I can smell it. I turned it down to 350. Don't want to burn anything. But you know, people are outside. They want to grill stuff. You know, they want to have the typical old-fashioned grilling experience. And so what I'm going to try to do this year more than before is I'm going to really try to do more vegetables for everybody. And also, I'm going to make things like the corn. I made a really delicious corn for the class, for the grilling class. And if you attended the class, the recipe for the Mexican street corn is in there, and it's very good. So pretty much all these vegetables fit on my not so big gas grill or electric grill. I could put another mushroom on here. I still have a couple of peppers. I better get that bell pepper on there. Bell pepper, I got a couple of potatoes left. And not that much of the marinade is on here. But if I have some extra marinade, I can use it to brush on at the end. Let me get this off of here. Motion at my front door. Maybe I have an Amazon delivery, who knows. Okay, Terry Malnar says she made the corn last night and it was delicious. That corn, getting all these notifications, the corn was outstanding. So I'm just gonna let this go. I'm not in any hurry. Don't be in a hurry when you're grilling because you want to develop your grill marks. And if you're messing around and turning and flipping, just like on your outdoor grill, if you're always flipping stuff over, it never has time to develop any kind of grill marks. So don't be anxious to turn everything over, okay? Just take your time. But the Mexican street corn, oh my goodness, I grilled that on this rock grill here on my stove for the class, and it turned out great. I just grilled it for 20 minutes just without the husk and everything. And the recipe is in the recipe packet for the Mexican street corn. It was very simple. I just put it on that grill on my stove in the house until about 20 minutes. And then I brushed it with the cashew sauce. It was just a cashew crema with a bunch of ingredients. And then I squeezed lime on it and some cilantro and lime zest, and it was just great. Okay, Tracy Legs says, can you pay for your recipes even if I didn't attend the class? Yeah, sure. You can buy a recipe packet, but I'm telling you, there's no recording in there. The only way you're gonna get to watch me cook the food is like this. Go back and watch me on Facebook Live. But you're still welcome to buy the recipe packet without the recorded Zoom class. But you still get all the recipes. Okay, so now I'm gonna start turning these things over. So how do I know when to turn them over? Well, I kind of know, like this one doesn't really have any grill marks yet, okay? The bell pepper. So what I do is I start picking them up, and they're getting a little brown, so I'm gonna reduce the heat. I'm gonna start picking them up and looking at them. See, that one has some nice grill marks. Because remember, we're after the grill marks. That one kind of does. That one doesn't. That one does. Let's see how our potato is doing. Oh, look, our potato looks good. Nice grill marks, and it's cooked almost. So here's nice grill marks on the mushroom. Nice grill marks on the eggplant. Let's see, acorn squash, see, no grill marks because it's off on the side here, so we need to move it to the middle. Here's our butternut squash, nice grill marks on that. But you get the picture where if it doesn't have any grill marks, then let it cook a little bit longer. The onion, we'll turn those onions over. The jalapeno pepper, we need to have it on the side where it's going to show up. And then here's another of our butternut squash, which was over on the side. No, it's not getting any grill marks. Here is a bell pepper. Bell pepper's kind of funny because they're rounded, so they don't lay flat on the grill, so it's kind of hard to get them to have grill marks. Let's see how our squash is doing. Still no grill marks. Okay, so then one thing I need to do, I'll take you in the house with me while I do this because I don't want to leave you stranded. So we'll go in here. I'm going to get my silicone brush. So this is my other kitchen. It's a little messy right now. This is my everyday stove where I make there's a pot where I make my daily greens. So I'll get out of this kind of mess. The best thing about my kitchen in the house is I have a giant picture window behind my kitchen counter. There's that tree. So when I'm cooking in my kitchen in the house, I have the most wonderful view. So that is why I enjoy cooking so much. And then my other thing is I have the boxers always. Mochi's awake now. Okay, so I got my brush. That was what I was after. Oops. I was trying to drink some of my tea too. All right, so now what I'm going to do is you see how this where you can see it. Remember, grilling is a dry method, so have some extra marinade, and when you're outside on your barbecue grill, get your grill medium to low. I'm turning it down because once they develop the grill marks, you don't need to keep cooking them on high heat. You want to turn the heat down so your vegetables cook all the way through and they're not raw tasting. Because that was the other issue I always had with grilling vegetables, is the outside would have grill marks on it, but the inside would be crunchy and raw tasting. So the issue was always kind of one extreme or the other. It would be burnt to a crisp, or it would be raw on the inside and it wouldn't develop any grill marks. So what you have to do is have your grill or grill pan or electric grill. I started out at 375 to kind of crank it up a little bit to get these grill marks, and then I turned it down. Now it's on about 300 because now I just need to let this cook and let it develop, you know, so that it's not raw on the inside. Okay, so that's what I did. I brushed it. And then the other thing to think about, and then you keep checking them. That's not really browning very well. The bell pepper needs to be somewhere hotter. It's just not doing anything. See, if this were my outside grill, this bell pepper would already be really nice and brown. It's just curved. And so what that tells me is I should have cut this better because it's so curved it's not cooking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it into 2 pieces. And that's how you learn. I just cut it into 2 pieces, and then hopefully those pieces will make better contact with the grill and I won't have that problem. So let's say that you were doing this on your outside grill. So what you would do is you would start your grill on medium-high and then put your vegetables on it that you've already marinated. Let them develop grill marks. Turn them over once they've got the nice grill marks like this. That's what I mean by grill marks. Then I turn it down to a lower heat. So this is on not even 300 because I want to give the vegetables a chance to really cook and get soft and not get, you know, burnt to a crisp. If you don't regulate the heat, all your vegetables will burn to a crisp. Trust me, I've done this many times, and the vegetables, especially if they're thin. And the other thing, remember, I can't emphasize this enough, is my vegetables are not cut very thin. They're cut, you know, this kind of almost a ½ inch thick, even the mushroom. So therefore it can cook, and it's not gonna, the other thing that I would see happen is things would just kind of turn out to be, they would stick to the grill. They would, like, you know, attach to the grill. Do you ever marinate your veggies overnight? Tiffany asked. No, Tiffany, that's not necessary. You don't want to overdo it, because if you marinate your vegetables too long, like, you know, potatoes, too much moisture in the potatoes will make them start falling apart. They don't really need to be marinated overnight. They only need to be marinated longer than I marinated them is good. I marinated them for no time because I'm doing this live video. But 30 minutes or so, an hour at the most, is all you really ever need. But you can see everything is coming along really nicely. Nothing is burning. It's all just cooking very well. And that's all we need to do to make grilled vegetables on our indoor grill. Check them. Don't be impatient. Turn it down. Even the potato. So I've got this nice potato that was partially cooked, 5 minutes boiled, and it's cooking. How do I know? Because I can take it and I can cut a little piece off to test it. I won't do it on my non-stick surface here. So what I can do to test it is I can cut a piece off. It's not quite done, but it's getting there. So I'm going to put it back on. And another thing that I learned that you can do, let's say that your vegetables are not cooking as fast as you thought they would be. Maybe you cut them a little thick and you want them to cook faster, but you don't want to burn them. What you can do is you can tent this with foil. You could take foil and just kind of, don't put it right on the vegetables, but kind of make a tent where it's creased at the top and just lay it over here. And that will create a little bit like an oven kind of, you know, and that will help it cook a little bit faster. So I've done that before. I did that with my veggie burgers, because when I grilled the veggie burgers on my little indoor grill, the veggie burgers brown on each side, but the inside needs to cook. So with my veggie burgers, I created kind of a little oven type of a thing. Okay, so that's what you can do with the grilled vegetables if they're not cooking fast enough. Amy Kennedy sent 50 stars. Thank you, Amy, I appreciate it. And I do appreciate everybody who made such nice, kind comments to me after my fiasco on Saturday with the recording. Paula says, any suggestions for grilling fruit and a good overall marinade? With fruit, I would think the best thing to do with your fruit is, remember, it just needs liquid. So what you could do with fruit is use fruit juice. So I would take, let's see, who is that? Hi, cool. I can't pronounce your name, but hello from Rhode Island. Rhode Island, that's pretty cool. So take your fruit and have some fruit juice, okay? Orange juice, apple juice, pineapple juice, whatever it is. Kim says, good to know I made chickpea burgers and the inside is soft. Yeah, so if you're grilling your burgers on the outside grill, what you would do is, you know, my grill has a cover. Okay, somebody said she sent money for the plant-based grilling class. I'm excited to make the corn and the burgers too. Great, I'm happy that you're willing to buy just the recipe packet and watch the videos. I will be putting them on YouTube and Facebook Live. So marinate your fruit in fruit juice that matches the fruit. Get it wet and do the exact same thing. You just have to make sure your grill is either a non-stick grill pan. My gas grill outside does not make stuff stick. It works really well. It's a good Weber gas grill. I get it really hot. I keep it really clean. And I could grill these vegetables on my outside gas grill and they would be just like this. In fact, better, because that grill is very powerful. It has a big cooking surface. Everything is spread out. So there would be no problem at all cooking this on my gas grill. In fact, I love to do that. I do it all the time, which is why I wanted to teach the grilling class, because I have such good success in grilling outside that, you know, I wanted to share that with people, because I know in the beginning it wasn't always like that. So I'm just checking these things. If they seem kind of dry, and they do seem a little dry to me, so here's the fix that I'm going to employ, because my vegetables seem like they're a little dry. So this is, I'm showing you my secrets while I'm doing this. I'll take some vegetable broth and make myself some more marinade, because my marinade supply was getting kind of low. So I just added veggie broth. I still have a couple vegetables in here. But that gave me some more marinade here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, see how this is creating some steam? What this is gonna do is this is gonna moisten my vegetables so they're not gonna dry out. And that's gonna help them cook and have better flavor, because they're not gonna be dried out vegetables. And you see, this is not quick. Grilling vegetables without oil is not a quick thing. You have to be willing to take whatever time it needs. So when I've done this on the outdoor grill, when my kids come over, I just get on there before anybody else cooks anything, because sometimes they want to cook up their stuff. Now I get on there and I take my time cooking my vegetables so that they're cooked. And they're not, you know, I'm not in a big hurry. I guess I can get my foil and kind of show you the foil tinting thing if you want, so you'll know. I'm going to go get the foil. Let's see, Mary said, did you tint the veggie burgers? And yes, when I made the veggie burgers in the class, I got good grill marks on them. And then I turned them over, got good grill marks on the other side. Then I turned it down to like 250 degrees because this surface grill is hotter than your oven. And then I created my foil tint. I kind of, put the foil over the top. And then I let them cook like that for about 10 minutes. And then I checked them, and when I thought they were nice and firm, not soft on the inside, then I took them off, and they were perfect. They tasted great. I think some other people that watched the class made them and told me that theirs turned out really good too. So then somebody said, I love the veggie packets with Italian tofu. Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite things. So let's talk about that. How do you keep the veggies warm after grilling when everyone else is grilling their meat? Okay, so to keep them warm after grilling them, you can just put them on a plate and cover them with foil, and they'll continue to stay warm. I have to admit, sometimes my vegetables are not very hot when I sit down to eat them, but they taste really good because they've been cooked properly. And I don't care. I don't care if my vegetables are not piping hot, because it's really hard to be a member of a big family and have everything turn out perfectly all the time. So I'm okay with my vegetables not being hot. For me to have the vegetables piping hot, I would have to be the only one eating this. It would have to be like right now, if I wanted to take these vegetables off the grill, eat them with whatever side dishes, they would be perfectly hot. And it would be great. But I have 4 children, a bunch of grandchildren, their spouses. So when everybody's over, there's a bunch of people here, and it's not possible for me to have my food perfect every time. But, I can keep it pretty warm, and I can also reheat it. So this was nice. I could tell that by adding that little extra liquid, that helped the vegetables that were not quite there yet. All right, so let's say that things were not cooked as much as I wanted, and I thought, they really need to be covered and cooked because they're not cooked enough. I'm going to go get the foil. And the foil, it doesn't have to touch your food. I know some people are kind of funny about, they don't want to have foil all over their food, so we can create a tent. See the tent? And we can just lay it over our electric grill loosely. Okay? And what that does is that creates some moist heat. Okay? So I have the little tent over my electric grill. That's kind of like when we grill on the outside grill. My grill has a big cover on it. So I get the grill marks, cover the grill, and let it cook. Well, if you have an indoor grill, how do you do that? Because you don't have a cover. Well, you can use a lid, but most grill pans don't really have a lid. So this was like the lid for the outdoor grill. So you can't really use that on this. So you have to create your own. So you can just use foil. And that will help speed things up. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about camping. That was in the class too, and somebody mentioned the packets with the Italian tofu. Let's see if there's any questions. That was Griselda liked the packets with the tofu, and what I did there is in the recipe packet there's a recipe for tofu crumbles with Italian seasoning. So they turned out really good. They're kind of like Italian sausage. It's my daughter's recipe. She's not even a chef. She made it for me for Mother's Day, and it was so good. I said, what's in that? Tell me, I want to make it again. So I took a bunch of vegetables like these vegetables, cut them up into little tiny pieces, like 1/2-inch pieces, put those, couple of cups of those in the middle of a foil packet like this. And I'm going to just go ahead and turn that down. I can tell these are cooked now. So with the foil packets, I created a double layer of foil, put 2 cups of vegetables, and then I crease them here and then crease the ends, put that on the grill or in the oven. If you don't want to use foil, you can use parchment paper, but you can't put that on the grill outside, okay? So if you don't like to use foil, and let's say you're camping, and you have either some kind of camp grill or some kind of platform on your grill. You know, the other option that I came up with for outdoor cooking to make, for like this would be good for camping, is to get a cast iron pot. And you know, camp stoves have cast iron pots all the time, or people bring those for camping to make their campfire stew or whatever. But a good heavy duty cast iron kind of a pan, put your vegetables that have been marinated, and in the recipe packet there's a marinade kind of like this but a little bit different. And then you put your vegetables here and cover them. And that kind of steams your vegetables and cooks them really well. Then you add the Italian tofu. And then what you have with that is you have this delicious, moist, kind of steamed vegetables that you cooked outdoors on your campfire, whatever it is, or your camp stove, with the little meaty pieces of tofu, like Italian sausage tofu. And that dish was so good. I had it so many times because I was recipe testing it. I had it with rice, I had it with salad, I had it so many different times, and it had all these different, you know, like these vegetables from today with all these different seasonings. Like I had tahini and soy sauce and garlic, and I made one that had, you know, Asian spices, one that had Italian spices. You could put anything in there, but the idea here is that you have a variety of vegetables and cut up potatoes or sweet potatoes, and you don't have to pre-cook them for the grill packets because they're small, they're tiny little, you know, half-inch pieces, they'll cook. And then you put all that stuff in a packet, mushrooms, whatever, and then it kind of steams it because it's all covered. That's a moist heat method. And then you have a delicious dish. It's not the same as grilled, but it's similar. Okay, so our grilled food is done. Let me get a plate. So what are we going to do with this is, you know, we have different options that we can do. Like one thing I made for the class is a fajita. And I don't have any more avocados, so I can't really make my guacamole. But you know how you go to a Mexican restaurant and they bring you all the grilled meat? Well, we can have grilled vegetable fajitas with anything, our peppers and onions and jalapenos and mushrooms, even our potatoes. And I use these nice tortillas I get from La Tortilla Factory. They sell them at Sprouts and different places, and these have no added oil. They're corn, half corn and half flour, and they make really good tacos and fajitas. And I think you can even order them online. Someone told me they ordered them online and they got them delivered. It was Melanie Drescher. All right, so we're going to take our beautiful vegetables, and they've turned out really nicely. Let me get you closer. You know, they're moist. They've got, you know, a nice appearance. Let's see if you can see them. All right. Everything is done. I can tell just by how it feels because they're soft. Portobello mushrooms, bell peppers, the nice eggplant. You can see the eggplant, how it's kind of falling apart because it's nice and soft. It's completely cooked. Same with the squash. Nice piece of mushroom, bell pepper, more mushrooms, and again the eggplant. Here's the yellow squash. It finally got cooked. You can tell because it moves. If it's hard, when you pick it up, it's just like a stick. Here's my potato. It finally got cooked. How do I know? Because you didn't see that. It's soft inside, okay? And then all these onions are cooked, they're fine. And everything looks delicious. And here's my other piece of butternut squash, and I love grilled squash. You might not think that's a great thing, but I'm growing a bunch of squash in my garden. And here's my jalapeno. It's kind of lonely, just that half, but that, you know, makes the food so good. And this, because it's a non-stick grill, it cleans up so well. Like, all you do is run it under water and it cleans up really nicely. My cast iron grill pan that I used on the stove from my class, my husband cleaned it, and he said, this pan is hard to clean. So, word of advice, the cast iron pan is a little bit harder to clean. I don't see any other questions, but see, here's my grilled vegetables. Now, I made these in front of you in, well, it's been an hour, but, you know, we made them from start to finish. We made the marinade. I cut the vegetables up. I marinated the vegetables. I grilled them on the grill. They're perfectly done, like I showed you. They have grill marks. They're soft. The eggplant's soft. And we can eat them as a fajita with some guacamole. That's one way. We can eat them alongside tofu, and I want to show you my tofu. I made this delicious barbecue grilled tofu, and see how it's got grill marks on it? Because I cooked it here on my grill pan. So I took a whole block of tofu, and this was in the class, so if you have the class packet, the recipe is in there, you've got the recipe. I used my marinade. I marinated the tofu, and I marinated it for quite a while because I had it sitting there the whole time I was teaching the class, and I made the tofu at the very end of the class. So it had plenty of time to marinate. Let's see if there's any other questions. Looking forward to grilling indoors. Yeah, you can grill indoors. So I cooked the tofu on my indoor grill. It got nice grill marks. It didn't burn. No oil. It was just in my marinade. Not my usual marinade, but barbecue, mustard, sweet, spicy. It was such a good marinade. And then I grilled it on the indoor grill. Now I've grilled tofu on the gas grill outside. It works fine, but you have to make sure your grill is clean. When you put the tofu on it, the grill is hot, so it kind of sears it. If the grill is not hot, it's gonna stick. So you have to kind of, you know, get some practice on that. It's a little bit harder to grill tofu outside because we're grilling without oil. And, you know, it does have a smooth surface, so stuff with a smooth surface can stick to your outdoor grill. But it works great on the indoor grill, and on the outdoor grill, this is where a griddle would come in handy. Okay, so somebody who said they had an outdoor griddle, the tofu probably wouldn't get stuck on the grill grates, okay? So try it. If it doesn't work outdoors, you could use the indoor grill, or you could just put it in the oven and have barbecued tofu on the side. My indoor grill is Presto electric grill. They sell them on Amazon or in Walmart. I had one from Walmart before. Mary Boudreau says, what is the next class? Okay, the next class is Middle Eastern. And I am already working on the recipes. In fact, tomorrow, I'm gonna turn this off. Tomorrow I am making my falafel, and I'm gonna make majadra, which is lentils and rice. And I'm gonna have pictures of that to show on my event, but the falafel is made from garbanzo beans and some special kind of fava beans. So Middle Eastern falafel, which is like a patty made from garbanzo beans and special kind of fava beans that we're gonna bake in the oven. I'm making some hummus. I'm watching, there's all kinds of birds just came by all of a sudden, they're everywhere. I'm making my hummus, which is made with Rancho Gordo garbanzo beans. It's the best hummus ever, so I'll be trying to get the information out quickly. I will definitely be tuning into more classes. Thank you, from Tracy. Well, thank you, Tracy. And I'll be making flatbread with whole wheat flour and maybe a tortilla press. We'll see how that works. And the lentils and rice, I already mentioned that. And I'm also gonna make, oh, Mary Boudreau said, I made falafel yesterday, but yours sounds great. Well, good. And then I'm gonna make shawarma, tofu shawarma. So shawarma is usually a meat thing with all these different spices, but I'm gonna make it to where it has really good flavor. Do we have a list of future classes and dates, please? It's on my website. If you go to chef-julia.com, all my classes for the rest of the year are on there for month by month. And you can actually sign up there, but you can't register, but you can sign up. It sends an email to me saying I'm interested in a class, and then, you know, the instructions for how to actually pay and register for the class are on there. Let's see, Luciana says, thank you, looking forward to grilling vegetables indoors and applying some of your tips for burgers and tofu. Okay, great. So that's it for today. You can make pretty much anything on these indoor grills that you can make outdoors. You can make them look like they're grilled. So that looks just like grilled stuff. I could put it on, you know, tortilla, or just cut up. These grilled vegetables taste really good cut up on salad. So when in the summertime, when everybody is making stuff outside, feel free to make your grilled vegetables outside. Remember, don't keep the grill too hot. Take your time. It's going to take time to cook them on the grill, to cook all the way through without oil. And make them indoors. Use a grill pan, stove top, electric, however you want to do it. Just make sure you have a good marinade, that you cut your vegetables thicker, not thinner, because thin, remember, they'll disintegrate, and that you allow plenty of time. And that's the big secret to grilling vegetables and potatoes and squash and whatever. So I hope too hot here in Florida for me, okay? She likes the indoor grill, I guess. The indoor grill is that one you plug in. Yes, it's electric. So here, I'll show you a close-up of it. The indoor grill is an electric grill. It has a temperature control on it, so you can set the temperature here. Let's see, where's the side that has that? This is kind of backwards. Yeah, you see it right here. My thumb is on it. And so you just plug it in. But if you didn't want an electric grill, remember, I showed you this earlier. You can also use this, and I used this quite successfully during the class. It's called the Rock, and it was from Costco. And it's kind of thin, and it's non-stick. And this was just sitting on top of my stove, and this worked really well too. So feel free to get one of those. And also, you know, the big trick for having good grilled vegetables is it's the season now where we have a lot of good vegetables available. So get some really fresh, beautiful vegetables at the grocery store. You can't grill frozen vegetables, doesn't work. But get some nice looking vegetables. We could have grilled broccoli, cut it into florets and grilled it. And if you know somebody with a garden, get some vegetables from them. So any of my local friends who live near Azle, I'm gonna have a lot of squash and zucchini. So I'm gonna be looking for people that want it, because you can only make so much zucchini bread, right? And grilled zucchini, although I love it. So that's it for today. So for those of you who missed the recording of the class, this is pretty much the same exact thing I taught in my class, except I made guacamole. So, and you have the recipe for that. And the guacamole was to go with the fajitas. So we made guacamole. I had a recipe in there for salsa, a good homemade salsa. And after the class was over, I ate this. I had a couple of these already made up. And so when the class was over, I was starving. And I put together, to take a picture, a vegetable fajita with my freshly made guacamole and salsa on it. And I stood in here and I ate it. And it was like the best thing I ever ate. It was so delicious with those grilled vegetables and the marinade and the freshly made guacamole. So what that makes me think about is when everybody else is enjoying their grilling and you're outside having all this fun, all I need is some of my grilled corn with a little cashew crema and lime on it, a couple of these fajitas with all the delicious grilled vegetables, maybe some grilled potatoes, and I don't need anything else. I'm perfectly happy. I don't miss hot dogs and hamburgers and steak and whatever everybody else is eating. I don't miss that. I like eating the way I eat because I'm healthy. I don't have high cholesterol. I don't have high blood pressure. And, you know, I'm sure those who've been following me, you know, I've lost all my excess weight. I'm now at my ideal weight. and I'm not gaining it back because I keep eating this way. So eat this way because it's good for you and it tastes good. The next class is the Middle Eastern class on June the 12th. You can sign up the way you sign up for all my classes. Go to PayPal. You can pay for it now and sign up, or you can wait until I post the Facebook event. Whatever is easy. That is going to be a really good class. I promise you. That food has the best flavor, that Middle Eastern flavor. Rose said, thanks, Julia. Looking forward to successfully grilling vegetables. Yes, you can do it. If you have issues with it, you know, post your questions and tell me what's going on. Good for the planet and the animals. Yes, it is. So that's another reason to eat this way. It's good for everybody. So yeah, Middle Eastern classes next. Friday, we'll have Friday recap as always. Let's see, Nikki says, I feel the same way, Julia. I don't miss animal products. Love being vegan. Sure, you know, and the longer you do it, for me it's, you know, over 3 years now. 3 years in August of 2020. So now it's going on 4 years. And the longer I eat this way, the less I even think about eating any other way. It's weird. Like my friends came over last night and they had, one of them made a charcuterie board. And because I'm the only one in this whole group that eats plant-based, so they brought their food. And she had it sitting out here in my area here. And everybody was eating cheese and salami and whatever, and I was eating vegan sushi, edamame, some hummus, and I was perfectly fine. I never even thought about eating the other stuff. It was like it didn't apply to me. So that was a good feeling. I don't really miss it. I don't think about it. So I don't see any other comments or questions. I want to thank you all for watching today. I kind of went long, so I need to hurry up and clean up my big mess and go to the gym and work out with my trainer. I work out on Mondays and Wednesdays for an hour lifting weights. So that's always good activity for me. Helps with, you know, having toned up arms so I can have, you know, toned up body for my aging body that needs it. So work out, walk every day, eat the daily dozen, get your health in order, and you will reap the benefits, I promise you. And so I hope you grill some stuff. If you have problems with it, send me a message, send me a Facebook message, whatever, and I will try to answer your questions. So thank you all so much. Mary Boudreau says yoga. Okay, yeah, yoga, anything. Whatever you do, as long as you do it on a regular basis, you enjoy doing it, you're able to do it, it's good. You know, the Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen, he always says, you know, exercise 90 minutes a day. You can break it up throughout the day, but once I started doing that, working out 90 minutes a day and eating plant-based, no oil, and not so much of grains and more vegetables and fruit, my weight just came off. I wasn't, you know, consciously trying to diet. I was just eating whole food, plant-based food. So I know it works. I know you can do it. And continue to follow me, and I'll share how I do it. That's kind of what I do. All right, everyone, I'm going to finish this so I can clean up my mess. Hopefully the rain will let up enough that I can get out there and get to the gym. And I've got to eat something before I go, but it's getting kind of late, so I don't want to eat too much, because if you eat too much before you go work out, you don't really have a good workout. I've learned that over time. So see you all. And thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.